All right, everyone, welcome back to Psych Word Radio Show. You are now on the couch with Rob Gerard, and I have DJ Chris Rush here with me. And on the line right now, we have Jake Huffman from the McLovins. Jake, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much, man. Happy to be on air.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jake, the band, the McLovins, you guys are doing great.
Thank you so much, man.
And for anyone that doesn't know, you guys are, I believe 3 of the 4 members are actually based out of Connecticut, right?
Yes, definitely. Granby, Simsbury, and New Haven.
That is awesome. That's a great look for Connecticut.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to be playing the Vibes? Now, this isn't your first time playing the Vibes, right?
Yeah, this will be our 6th year back to Vibes.
Wow. How awesome is that?
It's super cool. Yeah, it's awesome that they think of us as kind of like a staple kind of band, and they ask us back every year. It's an honor.
Nice. Now, so let's go over a little bit of your history for some of the listeners that might not be that familiar with you guys. Now, you guys formed in 2009.
Summer 2008.
Summer 2008? All right, and 3 of the 4 of you guys are the original members, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and you guys really began to get noticed from YouTube, right?
In 2008 we posted a cover of "You Enjoy Myself," Fish's "You Enjoy Myself" on YouTube, and it ended up going viral. And the first 500 comments were, "Whoa, bass player really looks like McLovin. Like, wow, that's crazy." And then that's just kind of what people named us, and that really just kind of kickstarted us into the music scene, into becoming really a band.
Okay, so hold on. Let's back up there a minute, because I was not aware of this. So you guys posted the video not having a band name?
Yeah, we had no band name.
And who was it that they said looked like McLovin? Because that is hilarious.
The bass player, Jason. He just, if you go back, and Jeffrey too, did definitely look a lot like McLovin as well. So
you guys named yourselves the McLovins, or the people actually did?
Yeah, we just went with it. That's what people were searching for us on the internet as. So we just kind of, it would have been silly not to have done that, you know?
Yeah, and that's a name that people will not forget. Now, the only thing is, though, when people go to search you guys, is it hard to kind of find you and search through all that McLovin Superbad stuff?
No, we actually are the first ones to come up now. We own the copyright on the word McLovin. So
that's awesome.
Technically our word.
That is awesome. and so you guys became noticed from that video, and you guys actually have a lot of videos that I saw that you guys initially shot in your basement that have some great views. And now you're playing huge shows. Like, how awesome is that for you?
It's a dream, man. It's super cool that, when I was, something that I didn't know I was 14, really kind of shot put us into being able to do what we love to do now. It's just awesome.
Yeah, because there's so many bands, there's so many teenagers out there. They do the band, they do the whole thing in their basement or their garage, and 99% of them never really get to go anywhere with it. And now here you guys are from Connecticut, and you guys are just, really starting to make a name for yourself. And Chris and I were actually talking before the show, and he was saying, man, they're really blowing up now.
Yeah, it seems to me like the fans are behind your grassroots movement, and how does that feel? That seems pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, this year's really been a year. It's just been insane. I mean, we've played probably more shows this year than we have in the last 4 or 5 years. Just in this one year, all over the country. It's insane right now, and it's cool. We're all 21 right now, and it's very surreal being able to be in a touring band, and having a van and a crew, and it's hard to explain the feeling that I feel on stage. When we're playing in front of a ton of people, it's like it's almost like nostalgia, but then not, because we're excited about the future, and it's a very interesting thing, and the people who come to our shows are so supportive and such cool people that it really makes my life and everyone else's life in the band just really amazing.
Now, you guys have played Strange Creek, Camp Creek, Gathering of the Vibes. Now, these are all major hippie drug festivals. And I'm sure you guys are aware of this.
Yes, they definitely are.
So what's the level of experimenting with these drugs been with the band?
We all have really good heads on our shoulders. The only thing, I mean, half the band doesn't even smoke pot. It's just alcohol. Like, sometimes some nights you get drunk. But we're, when you're on the road and you play, like, let's say you're playing 35 shows in a row. Well, I mean, you can't, heavily drink and do drugs for, those 35 shows every night because, I mean, you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to die really early. And, so we take it slow, Some nights I won't even drink anything, I'll just, like, keep a clean head and do it. We don't want to turn into, like, one of those bands who can't last, a long time and can't live up to what the fans think they are because, they're too busy doing drugs and not thinking about the music and stuff like that. In all honesty, I had a gap year. It was 1 year, the same year that Jeffrey left the band, where I was experimenting pretty heavily in drugs. And, I was turning into something, and someone that I wasn't proud of and I didn't want to be. So I ended up, like talking with the guy, and then I just cut that part off of me, quick before it turned into anything bad. So, I mean, we all tell each other before every tour and, all the time because we see each other every day that, we're not going to be, we don't want to be a cokehead band. We don't want to do a bunch of blow, we don't want to do a bunch of heroin, smoking pot and drinking beers. That's cool. That's fine. You can sustain yourself, and still do that. But yeah, we all have good heads on our shoulders. And I think because we've been in this since we were like 14, I've been seeing what, the people walk into the shows and then how they walk out of the shows. And sometimes it's they can't really walk out of the shows at the end of the night. And I don't really want to be like that,
Yeah, no, definitely. I hear everything you're saying. And that's good to hear that the band members do have good heads on their shoulders. Now, does anyone in the band have girlfriends? You guys single? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I think right now we all have girlfriends, which is awesome.
Is that awesome? Yeah. Because I'm thinking if I'm cruising from city to city, I'm going to be hooking up with as many girls as possible. That's just me. So why am I going to be single? Or why am I, going to have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean, well, all of our girlfriends, they're really helpful. And they kind of like, it's stabling. That might not be the right word.
Stabilizing.
Yeah, it's a stabilizing, yeah. But, Kara, Kara Kirkland, who's my girlfriend, I've been dating her for like 2 years now. She's a costume designer and a sculpture major at the University of Hartford. And, she's also, been our tour assistant before. Like, when we get to the venue, she'll go over, like, we'll just, like, go back to the green room or start setting up our gear, and she'll go out and, go to the promoter or the venue owner and, like, read them the rider and ask them, what's going to be backstage and all that stuff. She's also making a bunch of CD cases for our new album that's out, Funk No Uno. Everything is, like, hand-sewn, and it's produced within ourselves, even the CD and the recording and stuff. Fiona, who's Atticus's girlfriend, she does like a lot of the merch at the merchandise table, and that's like 35% of our income right there is through merchandise. We couldn't survive without her.
That's awesome. So you guys are really trying to keep the money in the family.
Yeah,
like you guys run it like a mafia. The band is like a mafia. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. I mean, we're our own team, and we utilize each person's skills. We're a big family.
Nice. Now, do you guys have any kind of weird demands when you guys get to a show? Like, does someone need to have bottled water or French pickles or, like, baby oil or something crazy like that you want to talk about?
We definitely have some crazy things in a rider, and I don't want to leak all of them because I don't want everyone to get the wrong impression. But I think the weirdest thing that's on our rider is a bag of severed gecko tails.
What?
That's definitely on the rider. Yeah, they grow back. It's not as horrible as you think. It's grow back. But we're definitely building a collection right now.
That is awesome.
What's one more thing on the rider that's crazy?
Let's see. I mean, just, like your typical things, like beer, big old cardboard cutouts of Star Wars characters.
Wow, that's awesome.
We definitely like to have, beanbag chairs that are flipped inside out with, like, all the beads scattered on the floor. Just your typical rider thing.
Oh, of course.
To make your show, pretty good.
Definitely. Now, you guys appeared on Sports Nation on ESPN too, right?
Yes, we were the house band for like a couple weeks.
Man, that is some great exposure because Sports Nation and ESPN is something that broadcasts around the world. It's not just something that's Connecticut. It's not even just something that's United States.
Yeah, no, that was literally insane. We met Ice Cube. We met so many cool people in that, like, it was like 6 weeks of just meeting super awesome people all the time.
Oh my God.
It was insane. ESPN, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, ended up walking over there in Bristol, but, like, it is an insanely high-tech, like, studio. There's, like, crazy security, and, like, every day we had to get a new picture taken for, like, new passes that we could get in, and it was, that show was so much fun, and Colin Coward was a hilarious human being.
Nice. So you said you got to meet Ice Cube?
Yeah, Ice Cube came on the show. I think he was the coolest person to meet in, like...
Now, let me ask you, is it true that he actually has frost hanging off his nostrils?
Yes, that is...
I knew it!
100% accurate.
I knew it! So who else did you meet? Any other cool celebrities that you guys are like, oh, wow, I got to get a picture with that person?
We met I think he was the coach of the Patriots. I'm not, like... This is bad to say, but, like, none of us really watch sports, and we met so many different, like, football players and, like, basketball players they were so tall and so big. And so we got a lot of pictures with them, but I'm not exactly 100% sure who all their names were, but they were super cool.
Nice. Now, the name The McLovins, I mean, I think that name alone, obviously the music has to speak for itself, but that name must open certain doors or turn certain heads for you, right?
Yeah, it definitely when people first hear about the name, I think they think it's kind of funny. They're like, what is that? And then, like, the more people start coming to shows, like, I think the novelty of the name wears off, and it just becomes, it's back to being letters and a word again.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really funky. That's what we've been doing this summer. Is like we have like an 8-piece band, and it's just a heavy funk band.
That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, it definitely is. On the tour, it's been at the max 11 people.
Wow.
In a 12-passenger van with a 5x10 trailer. So it's definitely a smelly van. We go to two hotel rooms a night, and that's still pretty cramped and smelly. So a lot of people.
Definitely.
Now, have you guys trashed any hotel rooms living this rock star life, or?
I think we've trashed hotels, but never crazy. Never ripped down the wallpaper and took dumps on the floor. No, we haven't done that yet. But definitely, messed up the blankets. Scattered the stuff on the tables. I think I punched a wall one time. I get in my head sometimes and crazy, so I punched a wall probably.
Nice. Now, if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking with Jake Huffman of the McLovins, and they're going to be performing live at the Gathering of the Vibes right here in Connecticut, Bridgeport, Connecticut. So, Jake, is there any lasting words that you want to leave with the listeners before we let you off the air and go rock the stage?
I mean, check the McLovins out on Facebook. Come catch us at Gathering of the Vibes, and join our mailing list online. That's something cool because we send out a bunch of awesome emails to our fans, and we have some new music out, so check that out. Oh, and also Psych. I wanted to do that the whole show.
like, hey guys, I just want to let you know your radio show is really great. Psych. All right. Well, Jake, thank you very much for calling in. The McLovins, check them out on tour. look them up on Facebook, check out their website, get on the mailing list. Jake, thanks again, man.